there's a lot in my heart that I want my kids to know that I think about them. It's not always communicated in the moments every day, right? It's more of the like, stop that, shut up, go do your homework, be quiet. Can you cut that out? Go do this, right? But they don't really get the depth of the heart I have for them. But we have moments, we sit down, we talk. But the thought of the letter was pretty cool. So I'm like, oh, I can take this and put it somewhere and it will forever and always be the thing that they anchor to. I got a letter from my wife she wrote years ago when we were in the middle of like me doing this thing for a living and her not getting it. And then seeing me one time speak and go, oh, I really get it now. Like to thoroughly, like, I get it. And that letter I still have. It matters, right? There's those words on paper that they're meaningful. And so I thought it might be cool to have this for my kids. So when we met, which I can't recall how we met, but when we met, I was like, yeah, this is something I got to do. I have all these different things I give as advice. So it's like a plethora of different things. I'm like, what do I choose? And so what I tried to think of are what are the foundational pieces that are really the anchors that make me have like my values. I think that was the big thing. What are my values? Because if you get the values into the lessons, then I think the rest of it is fine. And maybe it's principles too, but like there's some baseline things. So that was hard because there's so many things you want to share. What's also cool is as you do it in a group, you start going like, oh yeah, I want that. That's a good lesson. I like that thought too, man. Like, so you start adding a bunch that they got to go in there. And I think for me, that was a fun thing because if you do the stuff right, that's in there. Like the kids can listen to those things and have just those pieces. Like those are the ones that if they do those pieces, it can actually adjust and change your life for the positive. It can put them on a right trajectory. So I think dropping those little pieces and realizing every piece of advice I've ever had in my life doesn't belong in there. Like there's not, you don't have to put it all in there, but give the good ones. It feels good knowing that you got the right stuff in there. That if the kids just took one of those, it could be a game changer for them. If you don't write it, my guess is that you don't care about your kids as much as you think. Because this is one of those things that it's a necessity, right? It's just a necessity to do for everybody involved, for you to grow, for you to see, for your kids to know. It's just one of those things where there are certain aspects of, I think, parenting where we're all trying to get to the end result, but the way you get there, nobody knows. This is one of those things that like, it's just a no-brainer you do. Because realistically, how else are your kids going to know? You can say it to them, but then your actions in opposition in one day can shatter that, right? But if they know your heart in the moments that you spent quietly preparing for them, they'll know that heart forever. And the only way to get that to them is to write it down, type it up, write it down, but have it be real somewhere. And you can guess through it. You could easily say, I'm gonna try to create something of my own, but like, when did that ever work for somebody, right? Or you can go and say, look, I'm gonna follow a path that's been laid out in front of me already. So it makes that process easier and I don't miss something important.